Howdy, and welcome to Book Your Give Here. We're Travel That Gives. I'm Lulu Lima, your chief travel guru. I hope this episode of Dream Now Travel Later inspires you to travel, and I invite you to give us the opportunity to help plan your next memorable trip. So grab your popcorn and enjoy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. It is an amazing Friday today, and we are talking about Tanzania. Woohoo! The exotic island of all things safari. I am so excited today to have Augustine with us from AA Africa, where he is going to enlighten us and shower us with these amazing, thought-provoking, inspirational, everything wildlife in Africa, and wanting us to book our next trip. So without further ado, Augustine, take it away.
Thank you so much, Lulu. It's a great pleasure to have this opportunity. I'm Augustine Minja, the founder and managing director of Augustine's Adventure Africa, trading as AA Africa. We are a tour operator based in Arusha, Tanzania. We basically specialized in custom and private run safaris to Tanzania, but we also do extensions to Zanzibar. This is the beautiful island, Spice Islands of Zanzibar, Kenya, and we also do gorilla trekking in Rwanda and Uganda. And from next year, we're planning to include the southern part of Africa. That would be South Africa, Botswana, and the Victoria Falls.
Wow.
So, excellent.
We've got a lot of territory to cover, but today we're going to focus on Tanzania. So,
That's right.
So it's a beautiful thing. So with that, let's talk about getting to Tanzania, right? So getting to Tanzania is quite a bit of an adventure for some of us, and so we obviously there are different flights that you can do. We've right now, because of the way Americans can travel, we recommend going through Emirates because it'll be a much easier and smoother flight. And on top of that, you're also going to have an opportunity to have any COVID testing that you need and things like that already done by the airline. So woohoo to Emirates for leading the way.
That's right. That's right. So Tanzania is a giant country. Texas and Oklahoma combined will be Tanzania. So when you want to go ahead and fly to here, as Lulu said, at the moment, Emirates is the leading airline. However, as things get better in the future, you have other options such as KLM, you have Qatar, you have Turkish, you have Kenya Airways, you have Ethiopian Airways. But our main focus today will be with the Emirates, since they are the very first ones to be in operations. So basically what you do, you fly from your point of departure in the United States, you go through Dubai, and then you come to Kilimanjaro International Airport. What a great welcome that's waiting for you in Kilimanjaro International Airport.
Absolutely. I can't wait once we get there. And then once we get there, we can really start going on safari.
Yeah, so basically what we'll do is Kilimanjaro International Airport is about an hour away from Arusha City. So we will transfer, our driver guides will be ready there with their uniforms and signposts of the names of our lovely guests. And they'll be driven an hour to Arusha, check in a hotel, and relax, because in most cases the flight will get there late. So they'll spend the first night in Arusha, one of the lovely hotels, and the following day, the adventure would begin.
Yay!
Can't wait. Yeah. Now,
right now we're talking about some of the national parks and the game reserves. And obviously you've got quite a bit of different parks that we can come and enjoy.
That's right. Tanzania is among the few countries in the whole planet that have set aside 40% of its land for wildlife conservation. This includes the national parks, conservation area, forest reserve, you name it. And 6% of the surface is water, from Lake Victoria, which is the largest lake in Africa and second freshwater lakes in the world, Tanganyika, and then we have Mount Kilimanjaro. Well, if you're really an adventurous traveler, you better, if you cannot do the whole hike, which takes about 6 days, you need to do at least a day hike. And so we have various national parks that you'll be able to cover in the northern part of Tanzania. Arusha National Park, you got Tarangire, Lake Manyara, the giant national park of Serengeti, and of course, the World Heritage Site of Ngorongoro Conservation Area where the crater is located. So you have plenty of places to cover in this lovely adventure.
That's awesome. So with that, let's start talking about Arusha. I think Arusha is, one of the first parks that we can see, right? Right after we start our adventure.
Correct. So depending on the number of days that we have put down for your private and customized trip, most people will start with Arusha if the number of days allows that. And Arusha nested right on the foot of Mount Meru, which is the second highest peak in Tanzania. It's just about 45 minutes drive from Arusha City to Arusha National Park. And what a lovely place. It's sort of like a rainforest, but one of the highlights here is you can actually do the walking tour, explore things on foot. You can also do the normal safari that we do through our lovely vehicles. But the unique animal that you can see here is black and white colobus monkey. That's the picture that you see over there. These are really lovely and there are very few left in the whole of Africa. So this is one of the places where you can see these. And as you keep exploring Arusha National Park, there's a series of salt lakes. Beautiful place for tons of flamingos and other aquatic birds to see. But you can also see beautiful giraffes, zebras, cat buffalo birds, you name it. It's a place where your adventure begins.
How awesome is that? And so, here as we move into learning a lot more about the different activities that you can do and the different attractions, you really have opportunities for bird watching as well. So there's a lot, game driving. You can even do hike on your safari.
And canoeing in this lake, in this particular national park, you can actually do, canoeing just to explore things from the water. And this is among the very few places that you can do this actually.
That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, then we're going to move on to Tanzania.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and move to Tarangire, actually one of my most favorite national park. Amazing number of animals here. If you don't really love the elephants, this national park will upset you. There's tremendous number of elephants in this. But not only that.
Good elephant. Oh my goodness gracious.
Not only that, there are at least 2,500 elephants in this national park. And if you're especially here during dry season, July onwards, I'm telling you, if you don't really care for elephants, this is the wrong national park for you. But everybody loves elephants. So lions are there, leopards are there, a tremendous number of other animals are there, but also an amazing place for bird watching. For those who enjoy birding, this is a place not to miss.
Yeah, and I love how you highlight the abundance of the giant upside down trees.
Correct, yeah, that is one of the very fascinating features. These trees can live as long as 2,000 years. They're very giant. And when you come here during dry season, they have undergone defoliation dropping on the leaves and they look as if they're dead, but wow, they're not. And elephants will go ahead and get, debarking them to get the moisture from their bark. So very, very interesting giant trees.
I love how nature takes care of itself.
Amazing.
It really is. So, so moving on to Lake Manyara.
Correct. In Tarangire, also, one of the other things that you can do is walking safari with an armed ranger. Most of the time, people will be spending in the vehicle. So when an opportunity arises, whereby, some people are active than others, where you can always do an hour and a half to 2 hours walking with an armed ranger. Of course, this needs a pre-arrangement that we should know. and you explore nature on foot, being close to animals, learn other things that you cannot see from the vehicles. What an amazing opportunity to discover nature on your own foot.
And that's just makes it so beautiful, right? So it really gives us an opportunity to see all the different things. You've got great baboons on here, more bird watching, and you can even do a night game drive.
Yeah, so this is Lake Manyara National Park. They have a very limited number of people who can do a night game drive. I think 8 of them per day. The only thing about this night game drive is you have to stay in one lodge. So if you did not get a chance in this lodge, you cannot do it from other lodges. But in Lake Manyara, you can also do walking safaris. In fact, they even have now a walkway where you can actually walk across the riverine forest and groundwater forest. Manyara is also known to have the tree climbing lions. There's hot spring. The lake is Salt Lake, as you can see in that photograph. Tremendous number of flamingos there. If you're here in the right time, and other animals like elephants, lions, giraffes, Cape buffaloes, number of birds, hippos, and so on and so forth. So it's one of the parts that I regard it as nourishing your own soul. And if you stay in one of the lodges around the area, you can also do mountain biking. You can do the biking adjacent the national park just to get a perspective of different activities, especially for our active clients. So plenty of options.
I'm game. When's my next flight?
As soon as possible, that's what I would say.
Exactly, as soon as possible. So, so obviously now we're moving on. We've got yet another great national park, and I'm probably going to butcher this a little bit. Serengeti
National Park. Serengeti is a Maasai terminology which means endless plain. When Maasai people immigrated down here about 300 years ago, they came from southern Egypt and Sudan. When they reached Serengeti and they found this massive, gigantic, endless plain, they said, wow, this is Serengeti. That means endless plain. And that's how the name came in. This is the largest national park, I would say, in East Africa. And this is where you have the highlight of any African safari. And that's nothing else but wildebeest migration. As you can see in that map over there, the migration is a constant movement of at least 2 million plus animals led by wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles who are in constant search of rain and hence green grass. So they'll move from north, coming down south. When they're there during January, February, March, they give birth. That's their calving place.
Yeah.
Spend time. When the area is not good again, they'll move down towards Lake Victoria, that we call that Western Corridor of Serengeti. Stay down, this is not good anymore. They go up north, back to Mara River, and a percentage of this wildebeest will cross over to Masai Mara, which is right adjacent to Serengeti. They're actually in the same ecosystem, they're interconnected. Wildebeest don't really care about international boundary. They say, we don't care about passports.
They don't need passports, exactly.
We don't need passports. We're going ahead and just enjoy, get the resources. So annually they do about 1,000 miles. And one unique opportunity that all our clients should contact Lulu is because the itinerary that we design are set to follow this movement of herds. Not every company is doing this. Some big companies only craft one itinerary regardless of where the herds are. But believe me, I'm a professional, trained naturalist guide who have been guiding groups for more than 23 years, including a lot of alumni association from the United States zoos. I understand what American clients and anybody else is looking for, is the real adventure. And if you're coming to Tanzania and you're missing the wildebeest migration, you need to come back for another trip. So we make sure that we get you where the herds are. So it's all about right place and right time.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's one of the reasons why I brought you on, Augustine, because I wanted to make sure that, everyone who's watching really knows that I'm working with the best of the best. And And so that's one of the reasons why I build itineraries with local folks on the ground, because they know exactly what's going on. They know all of those moving pieces. And that's important, because I don't want to send you to a destination where you're going to miss out on a specific piece of the puzzle. So here is a great opportunity and a great explanation of why I use who I use. So
excellent.
I look forward to helping you guys craft that amazing itinerary based on the year of travel that you want to go. So, and the beautiful thing about this destination is that it's all year. It's just a matter of where they are during the year.
Except there's 2 months that we don't recommending people to come, especially in our company. And the reason for that is really April and May is pouring down. It's our major rainy season.
Of course.
And it's actually a low season. There's a reason why the lodges and everybody else takes their prices down. It's pouring down like crazy, and the experience is really very small. It's cheaper. April and May is cheaper, but the experience is zero. And I'd rather not bring anybody here for our focus is the value for your dollar and the great experience. So these 2 months, April and May, we would not advise anybody to come here with us. I've seen other people doing that, but we're one of the companies that will speak black and white that this is not, it's cheaper, but this is not.
It's always about the best value for your dollar and the best experience. And we're all about making your memorable experiences last a while.
Exactly.
So with that, we're going to move on a little bit to your conservation.
One more thing with that, with Serengeti is also an option of doing balloon ride.
Oh.
Just imagine being aloft and you have this tremendous number of animals down, like the migration or any other animals. So Serengeti is the best place to do that. When the wildebeest migration are up north, around August, September, October, balloons can be done there with tremendous number of these herds. When the migration come back down in the central part, west, and during calving time, January, February, March, we do it in the eastern southern plains. It's an amazing experience, Lulu, that I've never had anybody doing it and not being happy with that. But also Serengeti is known for having tremendous number of the predators, lions in particular. Oh. You have great opportunity of seeing cheetahs. You have great opportunity of seeing tremendous number of hyenas, and you name it. There's almost every animal that you want to see in Serengeti, including the very rare one. Like leopards are really elusive, and there are few of them, but Serengeti is the best place for that. So this is a never miss.
This is the insider tip, guys. Just keep on listening. This is the insider tip. This is the best way to do a safari.
Exactly. And you can see the photographs there of the numbers of wildebeest as far as your eyes can reach. Look at the pride of lions on top of the rocks. Look at the balloon exploring, nature from aloft. I mean, it's just the best of the best.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
So now we're going, and we're going to a nice, beautiful, protected area in the conservation.
Correct. Yes. So Lulu, this is another amazing place. So Ngorongoro Conservation Area interconnects with Serengeti National Park. So the southeast of Serengeti interconnects with Ngorongoro. So part of that wildebeest migration you're seeing during January, February, March, part of that is in the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, in what we call Ndutu Plains. As again, this wildlife don't care. This is Serengeti, this is Ngorongoro. It's human beings that have put the boundaries. They just want to enjoy, get their daily needs, green grass, water, you name it. So Ngorongoro Conservation Area is actually where the Ngorongoro crater is.
Gotcha.
Which we're going to see in a minute. Now, Ngorongoro Conservation Area, one unique thing that makes it very unique is actually the cohabitation of Maasai people and wildlife. Maasai people do not hunt. They don't eat game meat. They're very happy with their livestock. So from time immemorial, they have been mixing up with wildlife in harmony. So here you're going to be seeing the wildlife on one side, but you're also going to see an amazing cultural diversity of the Maasai people. So,
do the Maasai people have their own language?
Oh, yes, they do. As a matter of fact, Tanzania, there's 130 tribes, and each of the tribes have their mother tongue. But thanks God, we have Swahili language, which is a national language, and everybody speaks that. So coming from such a diverse culture, I speak, a total of 3 local languages, apart from English and French. So people here speak more than one language.
Wow, that's awesome.
Uh-huh.
So, and truly, I mean, you have lots of different activities. I love being with the different tribes so that I can truly learn some cultural immersion, right? Because it shows how, while we're different, we're all the same.
That's true.
And it's great to share a smile. Even if we don't understand each other, our body languages speak for themselves. That's
very true. And one of the major values that AA Africa had in place on its delivery of service is cultural immersion, which we're going to see even more as we keep going. But Maasai tribe are one of the tribes that are still very intact in terms of their culture and tradition, if you compare with the rest of the tribes. So it's very interesting. You learn how to beat with the Maasai women. You actually dance with them. You Americans are very good at doing basketball, so you'll compete with them jumping as high as you can possibly do. And you learn so many facts.
I don't think that this short person here is going to win any or be able to compete. At 5'1", it's a little difficult.
Yeah, it's just an experience. It's not really a competition, but that cultural mixing up, I think most of the guests actually remember that more than even seeing the animals. So.
Again, it's all about building these memorable experiences. I call myself a memory doctor. I'm here to create memories for you. So
exactly. And this is also where we have Oldupai Gorge. If you have heard of Dr. Richard Leakey, is the guy who found the oldest skull. Oldupai Gorge is considered the cradle of mankind. So if you believe in evolution, this is where at one point we all came from. So there's a very big museum that shows all of that. You're given an interesting talk on how all of these hominids evolved from one stage to another one. And then you get your own tour in the museum. So it's a complete educational visit. So, and after that, then you're ready to get into the Ngorongoro crater, which is what you're seeing right there. Now, this is amazing. Small is the size of Washington, D.C., only 105 square miles, but 20 to 25,000 animals live in this small area. So you can believe the concentration. Yeah. And the rare animal, which is actually endangered, black rhinos, this is among the few places in the continent that you can find a black rhino. Abundance of animals here, because the crater floor is rather flat, short and tall grassland with some patches of trees, and you can just see animals everywhere in this 105 square miles, as far as your eyes can see. And these animals cohabit, getting their daily needs, and most of them don't get out because their food is just plenty there year-round. And one of the things that we do, especially for our high-end departures, we provide bush lunch, as you can see in that picture there, which is basically having bush barbecue lunch catered down there, open space, seeing animals in a distance, and get that real Hemingway experience out in the wilderness. So it's a never miss.
That is super awesome. I mean, I'm truly ready to go. And so in all of these national parks, you've got these wildlife managed areas, and they're all owned by the local villages.
Exactly. So these are areas which technically, if I speak an ecological language, this is what we call buffer zone or spillover area. So they are wilderness area next to the national parks, but do not belong to the national park, but belong and owned by the local people. And they've protected them, they're conserving them. And since animals don't know the boundaries, as long as you put your area as typical as you can, as intact as you can, these animals are going to be there. And one of the activities that you can do here includes walking, as you can see there, explore things on foot, because not not everywhere in the national park you can do walking. And that is incorporated with seeing the local people around this area, depending on where you are. And having this area protected have actually helped a lot with poaching. So it's one important thing that helps with poaching, because in the very past, before the local people get benefit from these resources, they will kill the animals, but today they cannot, because they know when we visit this area, they get a royalty, we pay for that, and that money helps them with their development project. But not only that, creating employment, they get employment in the lodges and camps found in this area. So it's a win-win situation, and that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that the local people around the national parks get these benefits, so
and
that they can feel.
That's one of the reasons why I love working with you, because you have the same belief system that I do about sustainable travel. So,
Exactly.
so we're kind of very much aligned. And again, guys, this is one of the reasons why, I bring you all of these different vendors, and Augustine here really is in tune with all about the social responsibility parts of things, as well as making sure that, we're all aligned. We're all taking care of Mother Earth.
Exactly. That's exactly what we should all be doing, because these resources needs us to work do teamwork between ourselves, our visitors, and the resources themselves and the local people.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about, obviously the different areas that we're going to do, but how are we getting around? So I love that you've put this in the presentation, because you're showing your equipment in terms of, the vehicles, the land cruisers that are basically, folks are going to be sitting in and enjoying, and what options they have in terms of, being able to go from one park to another.
Exactly. So the most common mode of transport that we use for transfers, we use between minivans and land cruisers, depending on what's available, who's coming, the size of the group. But on safari, 100% we use Toyota Land Cruisers, which are 4-wheel drive. As you can see, they have pop-up roof. Right in the back, we have a small fridge to keep the drinks cold. Water should be cold all the time. We have also the charging outlets. So if you want to charge your iPad, your phone, your camera, all that you need is the charging device with you, and you just plug in and you're good to go. So you cannot reach in the middle of
Nobody can say they ran out of battery to take a picture.
No excuses. No excuses. Say, oh wow, I've missed that photograph because my camera is dead. No, it's not dead. You can charge it at any time. And these are 4-wheel drive, very comfortable. And what you see there, there's 6 seaters. So you have the first 2 rows, the rows in the middle, and the rows at the very back. And as our code of conduct is, let the guest rotates, so that you get to sit in different positions and so on and so forth. So when we are on safari, as you can see, those are some of our guides. The roofs are popped up, and our guides are well trained. The least experience is 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Well educated. They have been doing this for, between 15 to 25 years, some of them. And they're very passionate about what they do. They'll share with you Tanzania, they'll share with you the country itself, what you see in terms of giving you educational talks on, conservation, ecology, natural history, cultural diversity, and also interrelate with you in a very symbiotic relationship. They also want to learn from you. We come from 2 different cultures. And so there'll be very live discussions. And we also provide a naturalist guide, which is what I've been doing for 23 years. We'll be giving educational talks to make it even more interesting in the evening, 25, 30 minutes talk on a subject. This and that, maybe on conservation, people, education, a little bit of knowing the culture and all of that. So it's a fully furnished package. The other option is by air.
Yes.
So this can be done in different ways. Most of our guests would start from Arusha, end up in Serengeti. You want to start low and end up high, and then they'll fly back to Arusha. That's one option. For those who have a budget that's mid-range, they want to do a deluxe level, then they want to save maybe $300 a piece for that local flight. They can still do the whole trip driving from place to place. So we set we craft that itinerary to cover that need. As I said, we customize all depending on the budget of the client, the number of days, and the interest, what they want to do, and all of that. So, but 85% of our clients fly back because remember the roads are not paved in the national park. So it saves them some of this bumpy ride, but it's all adventure.
Exactly, it really is. So think about, sometimes people in St. Lucia, they take their transfer one way to, maybe to the hotel, but on the way back, they have had all these massages. They'll take the flight back, so they can also get a beautiful aerial view. And that's one of the beautiful things about flying, right? So you can fly over the crater, and you can even see if the volcano is active and all of that, and you get to see things from the air that you wouldn't see on land.
Exactly. And as you're taking off, because you're not gradually going into high elevation, you're seeing this beautiful landscape, you're seeing the animals. Once you're up, seeing the crater, as you say, the active volcano. Sometimes as you're approaching Arusha, in a distance, you may see Kilimanjaro and Mount Meru. So excellent experience on the other side. So it's good to do it this way.
Absolutely. And so in the park, there's lots of different accommodations. You've got from deluxe to luxury to ultra luxury. So really it's going to depend on, where your budget is and all of those pieces of the puzzle in terms of what you want to experience. So as we build your itinerary, and I ask you all of these questions, this is part of, me building and me finding out what's the best fit for you.
That's correct. And the lodges and tented camps we have out in the wilderness areas, they have been set to be as authentic as possible, whether it's a lodge or it's a tented camp. And as Lulu said, we go from deluxe, that would be like an equivalent of a 3-star, luxury would be equivalent of a 4-star, and ultra luxury, like what you're seeing on the left there, that's a 4-season in Serengeti, that's a 5-star ultra luxury. Look at this lodge over there, which is found in Tarangire. So we accommodate all of these needs, but even when you go deluxe level, which is like equivalent to 3-star, you're going to have an ensuite facility. You have your room, very spacious. You have your bathroom inside. Everybody's flashable. You have your light. The main area have the Wi-Fi and all of that. Wonderful cuisine. And what we do is we include the Western cuisine and the local cuisine. Like you see there, that black pot have makande, which is the traditional Tanzanian food. So we take care of all the needs. Down here, you have ugali, which is like polenta, which is the most famous local dish here. So things like vegetarian, vegan, salads, everything is taken care of. Some people have special need. What you do is let Lulu tell us, I don't eat cucumber, or I'm a pure vegetarian, or I'm a vegan, or I need a machine to sleep at night. Some of the places will have an extra cost for that if they're running a generator, but at least they have the facility. So all the special need is taken care of, but what we need is be told ahead of time so that we can have it work for you. So you will not starve, believe me. There's plenty of options.
Doesn't look like it. I'm already hungry looking at all this. Going, what can I pick from here?
Fresh fruits, from pineapples, mangoes, oranges, tangerine, papaya, you name it. Fresh will be served for you. And most of these vegetables are organic, as a lot of hotels and camps have their own little gardens where they're allowed to do that. So a combination of, And on the other side, local drinks such as local beers, wine, mostly South African wine, tremendous. If you want to have your margarita with chicken wings, it's available. Just your choice.
How awesome is that? And so, after a day, or that you've had a day of safari and everything else, and you want to soak in a pool, you have that luxury to do so as well. So there is some level of regular wellness that we're accustomed to be able to bring some of that into the safari aspect of things. So
that's right.
And as you can see, a lot of these rooms, especially They have opportunities here for connecting for families. They're Western amenities that we're accustomed to. So really, a great opportunity overall to enjoy some of these camps.
Exactly. And most of these facilities have the king size beds, they have twin beds, the triple beds. So all that we need is to be told ahead of time, hey, we need a room with 2 beds, or we just need 1 king size bed. We are a family, we want interconnecting, or we want rooms next to another. All of that will be taken care of. The semi-mobile camps, which are actually set to follow the wildebeest migration, they give you a tremendous wilderness experience. So you can hear lions roaring at night, you can hear wildebeest doing what else do you want? Suck you into a wilderness experience.
Exactly. I mean, and so in a lot of these, again, these are cultural immersion opportunities that you won't have anywhere else, because these are specific tribes that you're going to be visiting. You're going to be participating with the local people and doing some digging and the weaving and things like that. So again, just learning their way of life, which is something that we forget being in big cities. In the metropolitan way of living, we forget what the old world is like. And this is a great reminder of that.
Exactly. And Lulu, having been a professional naturalist myself and having been guiding for the last 23 years, in the end, when we are summing up the trip, 85% of the guests actually, they comment that the cultural immersion was their highlight of the trip. Although they've seen migration, they've seen the lions, but they do not forget the cultural immersion where we do school visit, market visit, unplanned home visit. Some of the folks who like, we want to go and attend a mass today. If we're in the area where we can do that, we get the people in. So it's a complete package that immerses people into so that when they go back home, they can proudly say, hey, we have been to Tanzania, because most of the lodges that they stay does not represent, the common person day-to-day activities. So that day in the life that we provide, top-notch, and our guests have really been appreciating that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's super awesome, and we're just kind of going right now through some pictures of, the safari of what you'll experience, and really, I mean, it's something that it's a bucket list item. It's you may not want to have it be once in a lifetime, but at least you got to do the first one, and then that way you can repeat again.
Once you do the first trip, you become addicted to it. And I've had clients coming here several times, because each safari is different from the other one, although you're visiting more or less the same areas. What you'll see this time, the pattern, the behavior is not exactly the same. So what you need to do is get Lulu in, because she's working with somebody that fit into her values of customizing your trip, making sure that you put in a lovely place, give you options whether you want to fly back or just do it on the road as you want. After the adventure, if you like to go down to Zanzibar to just now get the vacation, because safari is not a vacation, it's an adventure. Yes. If you want to go down to Zanzibar and chill for 3-4 days and get your really vacation, Lulu can incorporate that. All that she needs to do is drop us an email, Augustine. This group wants to do A, B, C, do, or special interest clients, they want to do bird watching. We're expert on that. We want to emphasize on hiking. We put that in. So Lulu, all that you need is just drop the email with all the requirement, and we'll have it done for you. And the clients are going to go back and want to come back, book another trip before they finish the first one.
Exactly.
That's how it goes.
And that's the goal, and that's why we work together. So
exactly.
Thank you so much, Augustine, for being here today. Really appreciate, again, all of your enthusiasm and your sharing of your knowledge. I obviously need to get down and do an amazing safari with you. So for those of you guys who are ready to come on board and get everything going, let's do this. Tanzania will be opening up its borders pretty quickly. And so, the COVID test is really, that's what's mainly needed. And as we mentioned earlier, we can do that through Emirates. We fly through Emirates, and Emirates will take care of a lot of those moving pieces. So with that, Augustine, do you have anything else that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I would just want to add more things. Our standard operating procedure for the COVID, we do all from the airport. Once you arrived, people will be given masks, the hand sanitation things. Each vehicle will be sanitized every morning. All the door handles, enough spacing when you are in the dining areas of these lodges and camps. The space between different groups has been put in place. So we are following all the standard procedures that our guests come here safe, go back home safe. And so people should be very confident,
right? Because there is a way to travel safely. And exactly. as I shared in some of my past videos, I went to Mexico and had a great time. So, and I was able to do it safely. I've been home for over a week, and I'm healthy. So there is an opportunity to really travel safely, and I do believe in practicing that. So
exactly.
So thank you, Augustine, again. Really appreciate it. So bye, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Namaste. Until the next time.
Asante sana. That's thank you very much in Swahili.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.